Trustee, Mr. Debashish Basu, to please join us on stage. And Mr. Yogesh Sapkani. May I now invite our founder trustee, Mr. Debashish Basu, to please say a few words on how the handbook came about.
Thanks, Teresa. You should have introduced yourself first. Okay, thanks once again for being here. Housing society issues affect almost everyone in urban India. Just added almost, actually it's everyone. And yet they remain poorly understood and badly handled, which is primarily because laws, very complicated laws, are created by the government, and residents have to go around chasing their tail, try to follow those rules and be on the right side of the law. Over the years, we have tried to solve this in a very practical way. We were fortunate many years ago to have come across Mr. Shirish Chandra, who has mastered the extremely complex rules that govern in housing societies, which we feel make grown men cry. This handbook is a result of his counseling sessions. How have we done this? Over the years, we figured out that what stood out in the counseling sessions is not just the number of issues, but how repetitive they were. Whether it was parking, membership, maintenance charges on redevelopment, same types of problems coming up again and again, and there was no solution because societies are all different, nobody's talking to each other, there is no one repository of knowledge. We realized that the problem was not just there are no rules, in fact there are plenty, as I said. The real issue is that people don't have access to clear practical guidelines how to navigate those rules, work and handle them in a day-to-day situations. Where processes are not followed properly, even small issues escalate into problems. This handbook is an attempt to bridge that gap. It's built from, as I said, real questions, real disputes and real solutions, not theory. Not a legal exposition. It's all practical solution. It's a practical guide that residents and managing committees can actually use. And at this point, I'm a great lover of maxims, things that are stood thousands of years ago, and then I would quote a very interesting Chinese proverb, which I definitely believe in, which is finding truth from facts. So here are the facts which are all combined in this, and the collective outcome of this is the truth that you can figure out about housing society problems. Our hope is that handbook will help people avoid problems before they escalate by bringing clarity to rules, processes and responsibilities, because better understanding ultimately leads to better functioning society. With this, I'm happy to see this initiative being formally launched today. I hand back.
Thank you, sir. Let me now take a moment to introduce our speakers. We are privileged to have with us Mr. Shirish Chandra, who has over 3 decades of hands-on experience in cooperative housing society, matters that has been guiding residents on practical issues for so many years. After a long career in academia, he has devoted himself to counseling and advising people on housing society challenges, offering solutions that are both legally sound and practically workable. We also have with us Mr. Mohammad Afzal, who is a Mumbai-based social activist with over 4 decades of experience in civic issues, consumer rights, and transparency advocacy. He has worked extensively on governance public service issues. He has been associated with public bodies and has actively represented citizens' concerns through policy engagement and public interest litigation. And finally, we have with us Mr. Akshay Naik, the Foundation Project Director, who has compiled the handbook and will be taking us through a presentation today. We would now like to take a moment to recognize and thank our speakers. May I request my colleague, Highcliffe Diablo, to present a memento to Mr. Shirish Shanba. May I request my colleague, Mr. Pankaj Raheja, to present a memento to Mr. Mohammad Afzal. And may I request Moneylife's Deputy Editor, Mr. Yogesh Sapkale, to present a memento to Mr. Akshay Naik. Thank you. We will now move to the formal launch of the handbook. I would request our speakers, along with our trustee, to please join us for the release of a practical handbook for housing societies. To set the context for today's discussion, we will begin with a short presentation on why this handbook was created, the kinds of issues it addresses, and how it can be useful for housing societies. I now invite my colleague, Akshay, to take us through the presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We have just launched our handbook for Pratical. It's a practical guide for housing societies. It's been developed by Moneylife Foundation under the support of CSR by two companies, Software Technologies Global Private Limited and Moneylife Advisory Services Private Limited. As we have said earlier, the publication is based on years of interaction with our residents and managing committees who come for our counseling sessions and also through our help. So through this presentation, I'm going to briefly explain why this handbook was created, the kinds of issues that residents face, and how it helps societies function more smoothly. So for most urban residents today, living in a cooperative housing society is no longer a choice. It's simply the way our cities are built. In cities like Mumbai, the majority of people live in apartment buildings governed by cooperative housing societies. These societies are responsible for managing the building, for maintaining common infrastructure, collecting maintenance, enforcing rules, and even handling disputes. So in effect, a cooperative housing society is a small self-governed institution handling financial, administrative, legal, and other responsibilities. But here's the challenge. Most residents are not familiar with the legal framework that governs these societies. So the rules are spread across acts, rules, government circulars, resolutions, and it can be easy to access, but you may not be able to understand it clearly. So there's a gap between everyday responsibilities and the legal understanding where most of the problems begin. So before we talk about solutions, let's look at what exactly the situation is on the ground. Over the years, through our counseling sessions and even the helpline, we have interacted with a large number of residents and managing committee members, as I said. And week after week, people come to us with various questions and disputes from housing societies. And this is what stands out. So whether it's governance decisions, common area disputes, parking, membership, transfer between flats, the maintenance issues or penalties or even redevelopment concerns, these are patterns that are remarkably similar for us. They are not isolated or one-off cases. It is something that we see across societies and even across cities across the country. And over the time, we realized that the problem was not just individual disputes, but the absence of clear practical guidance that people can rely on. So how did this handbook come about? Once we recognized the pattern, the next question was, what do we do about it? Over time, through our counseling sessions, the helpline and the weekly column, the Housing Society Problems and Solutions column, we had built a large body of practical knowledge. Our expert counselors were not only addressing individual queries, they were also explaining the law and suggesting practical solutions in each case. So gradually this resulted in a substantial body of practical knowledge grounded in real situations with real practical solutions. So the idea behind the handbook was simple: to bring all of the knowledge that we have gathered over the years into one place, a structured, accessible format, so that people don't have to start from scratch every time they face an issue. What makes this handbook different? So this, I would like to say, is not a legal textbook. There are other many resources out there which are written for cooperative law, which are for lawyers or specialists, but this is for ordinary residents. It's a practical guide written basically in simple, clear language that focuses on real situations that people actually face in their housing societies. So instead of presenting the law in an abstract way, it explains both what the law says and how it applies in practice. Committees can actually use the handbook instead of just reading it and keeping it aside. So the handbook is organized thematically around various issues that come up in a housing society's life cycle basically. It starts with governance, how societies function, how decisions are made. It then covers membership, financial matters such as transfers and maintenance. It also addresses everyday issues like parking, repairs, disputes between residents. And where problems escalate, the handbook explains the complaint process and the legal remedies available. Most importantly, it also talks about redevelopment and how societies can approach it in the correct manner. So the idea here is to complete the full life cycle of issues that a housing society typically faces. So one of the most important insights from our experience here is that most housing society conflicts do not arise because the law is unclear. They arise because governance practice within the societies are weak. So in many cases, decisions are taken without proper approval, roles are not clearly understood, meetings are not conducted properly, or information is not shared transparently. When processes are not followed, even simple routine matters can escalate into disputes. That is why the handbook places a strong emphasis on governance, because getting this right can prevent many problems from arising in the first place. So here's a real life example that we have encountered many times. In one society, the secretary submitted her resignation because the role had become too stressful for her. But the committee simply ignored it. They didn't accept it, or they just kept it aside and they didn't act on it. So they continued issuing notices on her names. They sent documents for her signature, and even months later, she was still being treated as a. Now, under the law and the model bylaws, the resignation takes effect once it has been submitted in writing and acknowledged by the matching committee. Importantly, acceptance is not discretionary. So the committee cannot refuse or ignore the resignation. In this case, the basic step was not followed, and what should have been a simple administrative process turned out into a prolonged issue because the society chose to ignore the resignation instead of taking action upon it. And the key fact is, this is not a complicated legal issue. It is simply a basic governance process. Moving on to membership and ownership, which is another major source of dispute in housing societies. Many residents assume that once they are owners of a flat, they are automatically members of a society, but that is not the case in reality. You have to follow a separate process to become a member. There is also confusion around different categories of members like joint members, associate members, nominal members, and how it affects your rights within the society, whether you can vote or whether you can stand for elections that way. Nomination is also another area where misunderstandings are common. Many people assume that being a nominee automatically makes you an owner, but that's not the case in the law. And in addition, societies sometimes impose conditions or charges during the transfer that are not actually supported by the bylaws. So as a result, what should be a simple administrative process turns into long disputes. Now here's another example, is about nominees. So when a member passed away in a society, the society transferred the flat to the nominee, which in this case was a family member. So let's say the father passed away and the society transferred it to the son, who was a nominee. So naturally, the society thought it was a straightforward thing and they closed the case right there. But later, months later, the other legal heirs, which in this case was the wife of the deceased person, and the two other children, the daughters, came forward and they said that the flat belongs to us as well, and not just the nominee, because we are also legal heirs, which is right. So the nominee in this case is only a trustee and he is not the owner. So the society needed to follow a simple process of determining who the actual legal heirs are based on the succession law rather than just transferring it to a nominee. And this again was a simple administrative step which the society failed to follow, and then common misunderstanding start from here. Now, maintenance dispute. This is also a common area because of the money matter involved. Maintenance, of course, as we know, is the financial backbone of any housing society. It funds the services like security, lifts, water supply, and repairs. But this is also where disagreements begin. So residents can question how charges are calculated, whether they are based on equal for all flats or whether they are based on area. There is also confusion about interest on delayed payments, how much we can charge and from where, when we can charge. Penalties and additional charges are another area where societies sometimes go beyond what is permitted. GST has added another layer of confusion in recent years. And there is also confusion for the issue of defaulters, whether committees can take actions to restrict essential services. That's not legally permissible, but sometimes societies do take that action. And what we repeatedly see in these disputes is not just about the money. They arise because the rules are not clearly understood and or not applied consistently. So once that happens, even routine financial matters can quickly become contentious. So here's another example. A member had been living abroad for a few months. When he returned after a long time to Mumbai, he was issued a maintenance bill, and there was 3 years of interest applied to it. So naturally, he went back to the committee and asked him about it. And the society said, no, you haven't paid for such a long time, so I will issue the interest to you. So he wasn't actually disagreeing about the payment, but because he wasn't issued any bills or reminders or even mails or any WhatsApp reminders about the notice or the maintenance bill, it was legally not permissible for them to charge interest, because he had never gotten or any communication about the maintenance bills or even reminders, regardless of whether they were sent or received. So once again, the issue here was not about refusing to pay, it was about the failure to follow proper procedure. The society should have sent reminders, the society should have issued maintenance bills on time, communication should have been there, and only then they could have charged the interest. So far we have looked at issues around governance and financial matters. Disputes in housing societies don't just start there, they begin with everyday issues as well. So parking is one of the most common flashlights. Who gets a slot, how it is allocated, and whether additional vehicles are allowed. Alterations inside flats are another, especially when they affect members or the structure of the building. Encroachments on common areas, whether it's corridors, terraces, or open spaces, are also frequently lead to complaints. Then there is the issue around tenants, leave and license agreements, and of course noise and nuisance complaints. Individually, these may seem like small matters, but when the rules are unclear or when rules are not applied consistently, they quickly escalate into disputes. And this is where both residents and committees often struggle. So here's another example. It's a very common one. A resident noticed in a part of their open compound that it has been marked as reserved parking. And when the member went and asked around why this space was reserved, the committee told them that the space was bought by that person from the builder. So that common area portion was sold by the builder to the member. Then doing an investigation internally, the society found that there was no approval, no record or even any resolution for this matter. And it was later discovered that open parking spaces or even common open parking spaces are actually treated as society's common areas. So they can't be sold or they cannot be considered as privately owned. So the society later on removed the barricade and brought the space back into the common pool, from where it was again assigned to whoever was in the other space. Ideally, most disputes within a housing society should be resolved internally. But when there are situations very complicated situations, it's not ideally possible. So in such situations, members need to approach external authorities. One of the biggest challenges people face is not knowing where to go. So different type of issues fall under different forums. For example, governance or procedural issues typically fall under the deputy registrar. Disputes between members and the society can go to the cooperative board. Service related issues such as unfair charges may be taken to the consumer commission, and in certain cases involving property or ownership rights, civil courts may also be involved. What we often see is that people approach the wrong forum, and this leads to delays, frustration, and sometimes even dismissal of their case. So understanding which forum applies to which dispute is extremely important. So far, we have looked at everyday and recurring issues, but there are also high-stakes decisions like redevelopment, where problems arise. So redevelopment has been one of the most significant and complex decisions that a housing society can take. It is also important to recognize that this is a vast subject in itself. So the handbook does not cover redevelopment in its entirety. We write another extra book about redevelopment, but the chapter in the handbook covers basic information about redevelopment, how you should approach it, what are the problems, and how you can stay on track of redevelopment. Because redevelopment is just not a technical or a financial exercise, it is a decision that affects every member of the society. It involves selecting a developer, negotiating terms, understanding timelines, and ensuring the rights of all members are protected. It also involves critical issues like temporary accommodation, compensation, and compliance with legal procedures. And since these projects involve very large financial stakes, long-term consequences, even small mistakes or misunderstandings can lead to serious disputes. So the idea of this chapter in our handbook is therefore to equip societies with a basic framework so that they can approach redevelopment decisions with greater awareness and caution. Now, after looking at all of these different kinds of issues, and from everyday disputes to high-stakes decisions like redevelopment, one important question is, can these problems be avoided in the first place? And the answer is, in most cases, yes. Yes, you can avoid them. Most housing society disputes are not inevitable. They arise because governance practices are weak or procedures are not followed correctly. When societies function transparently, when decisions are properly recorded, meetings are conducted correctly, communication is clear, many issues get resolved before they even escalate into disputes. Following the bylaws, maintaining proper records may seem like routine tasks, but they are actually the foundation of good governance. Managing committees must also remember that they are not just decision makers, they are the custodians of society's collective interests. And that is really the goal of this handbook, to help societies adopt better practices so that problems can be prevented, not just resolved. So how do you use this handbook? The handbook is designed, as I said, for practical reference. So you can use it before taking decisions, you can use it when issues or disputes arise, you can use it when the rules are unclear, you can also use it as a ready reference when you need guidance. It helps residents understand their rights, supporting managing committees in decision making, and brings clarity to governance issues. Most importantly, this is not a book that is meant to be read once and put aside. It is meant to be used, something that you can come back to whenever a question comes up or a decision needs to be made. Finally, stepping back from all the details, what is the larger goal of all of this? At its core, a cooperative housing society is meant to function as a community. It is right there in the name, it says cooperative, where people work together to manage their building and resolve issues. For that to work well, it starts with good governance, fairness, transparency in decision making, participation from members, and a shared sense of responsibility. When the foundations are in place, they lead to something very important, which is clarity. Clarity about rules, processes, and how decisions are made. And once there is clarity, the outcomes change significantly. Issues get resolved early, decisions improve, and societies function more harmoniously. What we have seen is that many conflicts don't arise because people are unwilling to cooperate, but because this clarity that is in the center that is missing. And that is really the larger goal of this handbook. Not just to explain the rules, but to move societies from confusion to clarity and from conflict to cooperation. We now move on to the panel discussion. I invite Mr. Shanta to start this. You can do it from here.
Thank you, Akshay. I'm so happy that in last 11 years association with him, he has digested the cooperative housing society's bylaws and rules much more than what I was. And today he said that after his talk, I have to say something. So I have come with some special things regarding the recovery of society's dues. Now, whenever a recovery of society dues comes, a defaulter whose recovery in thousands, sometimes in lakhs, he makes an appeal to the High Court even, asking for a human rights. That he comes regarding the human rights. So that High Court was giving him the time, like giving some time that reduce or forgive entire fine on the dues, like this it was doing. However, one judgment of 12th June 2024 from Mumbai High Court, that by Avinash G. Gharode, it is Vilas Gopal Dongre, petitioner, versus Municipal Corporation of Kalyan Dongre and another respondent, and here the advocates are Ajit M. Savarave and Mr. S.D. Raidikar for the respondent and state. Now here that this judgment is of only 4 pages, okay, and this judgment, the 3 copies I am finding it, I am passing, one on this side, 2 on this side.
We share the links.
Yeah, and after you take photograph of each of the pages, you pass them back, okay, so that you can use this judgment for your society's recovery, okay. That those who are coming to Moneylife Foundation, I give them, ever since I got this judgment somewhere in September 2024, ever since for the last nearly 1 year, I started giving them and asking them to take the Xerox copy and use it, give that to the defaulter, that we are going to cut your water if you don't pay the dues. It is stated here that society is asked to cut the water of the flat for few lakhs dues, and thus the society will get a chance now to recover the dues. Okay, so this way that you can recover the dues, and here in this book Akshay has given so many anecdotes, smaller and smaller, with which you can just know all cooperative bylaws and recovery procedure very easily if you have this book. Okay, and after this we will have some question and answers. Next time I will reply. Thank you.
I'll ask more.
share my experience in book. And it's a pleasure to be here in front of you. I have been asked to speak about the lift. Now, you see, I started the petition, PIL petition in 2010. Although I was chasing these people from 2007. Now, giving you a short brief about the entire issue. The first thing was, in 2010, there were about 86,158 lifts across Maharashtra and only 16 engineers to inspect the lift. I mean, as per the Bombay Lift Act, it was mandatory on the part of the PWD to inspect the lift twice in each year. So if you calculate the entire lifts, that is 86,156 lifts, they had to undertake 1,72,000 inspections per year. So it was humanly not possible. In 2010, it was, I have been telling them that why don't the government outsource lift inspection? Now they have realized it, and maybe in the months to come, they are going to incorporate that. Now, if you see the 2010 lift PIL, I had demanded that the strength of the staff, the engineers, to be increased. Fortunately, 276 engineers were inducted in year 2010. Although during that time, for last 10 years, the government have been sending recommendations to the Maharashtra government to increase the strength. The second prayer that I had was fixing the criminal negligence liability on the lift maintenance contractor, the managing committee, and the lift owners. So at that point of time, it was overlooked. Then I was demanding third-party insurance for people who are using the lift in case of accidents. Unfortunately, at that point of time, even this particular prayer was ignored, and Tamil Nadu is the first state which has taken clue from my petition and implemented the third-party insurance. I am told that this year, I mean, with the current PIL petition, they are going to include that as well. I had also demanded that the government should update the website city-wise across Maharashtra. Now, when we talk about uploading the data, means the total number of lifts that are there in Maharashtra, which building was inspected, who was the inspector, data of fatal and non-fatal accidents, and list showing the number of lift accidents in the entire Maharashtra. So the staff strength was increased in that particular PIL. Even the High Court ordered the Maharashtra government to create a website and upload all the details as far as lift inspection is concerned. In the 2012 final order, the High Court had given me the option that I could come back with a fresh PIL. It was mentioned in the order. So, because of my petition, the 87-year-old Bombay Lift Act was totally replaced by the Maharashtra Lift Escalator and Moving Walk Act 2017. I have been chasing these people for a very long time, and I brought this to the notice of the Maharashtra government that 9 years have lapsed and they have still not notified the rules. Now, unless the rules are notified, the act cannot be implemented. So these were some of the things that happened in year 2010 petition. Now, talking about the current petition which I filed as per the Bombay High Court order, My petition number is 71 of 2025. Now in this, what I have mentioned is that the lift rules need to be notified as soon as possible so that the new act can be implemented in totality. Now, I have also demanded that the BIS standard 17,900 IS standard needs to be implemented, because by implementing this IS standard, we will come in par with the international safety standard for lifts. I have also demanded that technology has moved ahead and we need to include the escalators and the moving walk. Apart from this, even the stack parking, puzzle parking and tower parking. Other than this, that we have seen that a lot of accidents are taking place where construction sites are concerned. So I have demanded that the Maharashtra government should regulate the hoist lift, which is the construction lift. They should also monitor it. Currently, what is happening is the hoist lift is supposed to transport material only, but even the laborers are being transported in those carriages. So I have demanded that also, and the third party is certifying it. So there is no regulation from the government as far as construction lifts are concerned. So I have demanded that as well. Okay. The most important thing that I have demanded is having a QR code, barcode to be fixed inside and outside the lifts, wherein it will, once you scan, it will show what is the status of the lift license. When was the lift license last renewed? When was the inspection undertaken? And most important thing is a link to be provided where the common man, the third party who uses the lifts, it could be you, me, our children, it could be the vegetable vendors, it could be the milkman, anybody. Once he scans the barcode, there should be a link to be provided where complaints can be lodged. Now, I have been chasing these people right from 2007, and today's position is if there is any mishap, even I don't know whom to contact. And the reason is, on the 24th of April 2025, the Energy Department came out with a circular whereby they have decentralized the inspection of lifts. Now, there are about 36 districts in the entire state of Maharashtra, and there is severe shortage of staff, severe shortage of engineers. So how they are going to do it, we need to figure it out. Secondly, as per my last High Court order, where all the inspection had to be uploaded, all the data had to be uploaded on the government website, they have not done so. So there is also a contempt of court order. So this is the current position. I have compelled the Maharashtra government to come to the Vidhan Parishad, where this particular thing was discussed on the 4th of March, and I hope that something good is going to come our way. In 2010, the High Court had asked the government to form a committee. It was very surprising that the lift manufacturing company representatives were inducted with the principal secretary, and whereas I being a citizen's representative and we being the major stakeholders were not included in that, involved in that particular committee. So in the Vidhan Parishad, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis ji has said that he is going to form a committee, and I hope that this time around they will induct me as a committee member where many things need to be addressed as far as the citizens are concerned. So as far as the lifts is concerned, this is the entire thing that has evolved. Now, the second thing which I would like to talk about is as far as that disputes don't arise of there is a total lack of misunderstanding, lack of communication. Ego is the main point as far as society matters are concerned. The managing committee feels that they have been elected so they can take the decision. And in contrast, the members of the society feel that we are the owners and we should be heard. So small things can develop into a big dispute. Now here we need to understand the psychology. To address the various issues, in this 47 year of my activism in on various subjects, I have come to the conclusion that we need to somewhere master the art of fighting without fighting. You know, your body language. See, you may have merits in your case, merits in your complaint, but your body language and using unparliamentary language, I differ on that. And I have, in my personal experience, in 99.9% cases, I have got success. And following my way of addressing issues, there have been people who have also gained 100% success. So, you see, it doesn't matter whether it is, most of the managing committee members are not aware of the bylaws, acts and rules. It is the ego that governs the entire issue. So, we need to, confront, we don't need to confront the managing committee. You can have merits in your petition, merits in your complaint, but I have always gone with my folded hands. So you need to understand that as far as your information, your research, your communication, your complaints that you file should have merits, but over and above, it is very, very important that your body language is important. Never use unparliamentary language, and I think so you will get success. Giving you an example, I'll tell you, you need to do a lot of research. In my particular society, there was a fraud of about 23 lakh rupees by the managing committee. I believe unless you have evidences, you can't pronounce anything, any judgment. The managing committee was supposed to file the defect report to the deputy registrar, and from the deputy registrar it is passed on to the DSA, district special auditors. So first I did is I filed an RTI with the deputy registrar. I filed an RTI with the DSA, the district special auditor, asking them that whether the managing committee has submitted the audit reports, the defect reports, defect or audit reports. I, under RTI, got the reply from the deputy registrar's office that they have not filed the audit rectification report, whether it is Form O or Form Y, Form C, Form 1, Form 7, Form 28. I also got in writing under RTI from the district special auditor that the managing committee for the last 2 years have failed to file these documents. After getting the reply from them certified, I filed a complaint to the deputy registrar under section, invoking section 2. and the action to be taken under section 75(5). Now what had happened is, once I filed the complaint to the deputy registrar, half of the managing committee consisted of 11 members. Out of that, 6 members immediately resigned. Now it's a very long process that you go for a forensic audit, and based on that the deputy registrar will order an FIR or whatever it is. What I did is, when I complained to the deputy registrar, he immediately issued a show cause notice to the managing committee that why shouldn't they be disqualified for a period of 5 years. Now what has happened is, in many of the disputes, मैं ये समझता हूँ कि अगर थोड़ा से पीछे हट जाते हो, तो although you lose but you are still the winner. So what happened is, my building consisted of 9 buildings, 22 stories each. Now the federation committee, they approached me कि please आप अपना complaint वापस ले लीजिए, and even the managing committee, there are about 4 managing committees in the entire complex. They came and they asked me to take back the complaint. I said nothing. आपने ये किया, एक तरफ से आपने complaint किया है to the police, and you have asked for a forensic audit. ठीक है, let the process take its own time. But I want to see that the entire managing committee is dismissed for the period of 5 years. They approached all the political parties, but nothing happened. And then one fine morning, I tried to analyze the whole thing. Because main thing is कि हमें उनसे बदला नहीं लेना. We want to see that the society works in a proper manner. So committee comes before society. Now there was a hearing, there was some other hearing at the Konkan Bhavan State Information Commission where the deputy registrar had come. He met me there. He invited me for lunch. Okay. We went, we discussed. I said, looking into the entire scenario and looking into the size of the complex, where there are about 800 members. If an administrator comes, then I think so everybody knows what will happen. So looking into the scenario, I feel that I will take back my company and let the society conduct a fresh election and continue with the affairs of the society. I took back my company, and today the situation is, whatever liability, about 8 lakh rupees liability was there, that has been cleared. We have got surplus money. The running of the society has improved 100%. So sometime when you take back one step, things improve for the better. This is one example. Second example was that there was a complex in Yari Road, again 9 buildings, huge complex, Kalyan complex. I don't know any of you know about it. The committee had given them the authority to install mobile towers. So what I did before approaching the committee, I filed various RTI applications. I went to the office of the Ducomo, because what had happened is, in each of the terrace, Ducomo had installed 100 square feet of cabin, and in the ground, on the compound, there was a cabin of 200 square feet with ACs, computers, and I don't know what not. When I went to the Ducomo office, I don't know, it was about 6-7 floor building. They thought it's a raid, and I was fortunate that they divulged all the contracts. They gave me the copy. Now equipped with the copies and of different things, then I approached the building and factory. And on the day of the demolition, the managing committee with few political parties, they went to the deputy municipal commissioner's office, and he called me up when the JCP and all those people were there. So what I'm trying to say is that if you're, and I got the entire thing demolished. Now what I'm trying to say is that you have to research before you take any step. आप अपने चारों कोनों को बांध दो, then you move ahead. And अगर जैसे है ना कि diplomacy backed by documents is going to be the key factor. So when you have the documents in place and when you go in front of the managing committee with folded hands, you should check your body language, you should check your tone. I think so you will 100% get response and you will get whatever action that you are soliciting. So these are the things, I mean, it is not always that you need to confront them, you need to concentrate more on the process. So these things are very important, and I think so if ego is set aside, 99% of the problem is solved. Then the matter might not even go to the deputy registrar. So I feel that we should try and use this particular thing, and I'm sure all of us will get good success. I once again thank the author for giving me an opportunity to share my experience in the book, and Moneylife Foundation, of course. So thank you so much.
Before we move to the panel discussion, I'd like to invite Mr. Shenoy. He's with us in the audience. He's contributed to the Handbook as well. He's a counselor for Moneylife Foundation on issues of consumer matters and even RERA. So I'd like to invite you, please. We'd also like to say a few words.
We'll take the questions now, but before that, I sincerely apologize all of you because we couldn't accommodate each and everybody, especially those who are standing here. What happened is we booked the hall, and after booking the hall, we sent a mail, and immediately we got 130 registrations. So we were in a puzzle what to do. So we tried to book another hall, which is next door. We tried to get a bigger hall, but the condition of the hall was not that good. So we thought, okay, we'll do it this time, but next time we'll make sure that everybody is accommodated. Please accept my sincere apologies. Okay. Cooperative housing societies, and I was chairman of my own society. Now I am a member, so I have seen both the sides from very close. And I will share one example how practical decisions can be taken, or practical guidance can save you headache. As a chairman, I was in a dilemma. There was a member who was a defaulter. He was not paying the dues. So we sent him notice, we sent him the reminder, everything we did. We persuaded him. We tried to resolve the issue at our level. We did everything, and finally the managing committee decided, okay, so now we will go to the deputy registrar, we will file a section 101 notice to the member. Before that, suddenly I met Shanbag sir, and while discussing the issue, so I just asked him, sir, what is the solution for this? He said, why you are burning your blood? I said, what? He said, see, there is a simple rule in housing societies that on a defaulting amount, you can charge a 21% simple interest, up to 21%. So he said, just start charging 21% interest. The member will not pay today. Tomorrow, if you want to sell, he will come and pay. If he dies and his son comes for the transfer, he will pay. So why you are getting yourself a headache, big headache? It's a simple solution. I started that, and after that I successfully recovered all the defaults. So this is a simple and practical solution that Mr. Handbook brings in. And I request everybody to take benefit of that. But before that, my simple request is, let's discuss the common issues. Please ask the questions about common issues, not particular issues. If you have any particular issues, he is always there to guide you. One-to-one counseling, you can always come to Moneylife Foundation and we'll even get the resolution of your personal problems. Now, I look open the floor to all of you. Yeah.
Thank you, Akshay, and we have been, it's a great Moneylife Foundation always conducts good. There are about three latest issues with the latest issues. Handbook, sir, one is the commercial establishment which is bankrupt, shop is bankrupt. I have been telling the chairman to recover the money from the bank. Bank has fees. Bank is not replying. National Bank, Cooperative Bank. Huge amount is piled up. I said, what can I do? I said, you have to bank next to the RBI. Because bank's responsibility, bank has fees. I don't know the bank or it's money, we have to recover from me. But it's a bankrupt situation. What is the solution? There are two things.
Sir, we'll get that question answered and then we'll.
Just do quickly.
No, just
quickly.
let's get this question answered first.
Okay.
Otherwise it will get lost.
Yeah.
Just now, I asked to pass that judgment. According to that judgment, you ask the reporter to pay or you will cut the water.
It's a commercial establishment, there is no water. They don't bother. It is seized. It has been freezed by the bank, National Bank. And bank is silent. Bank is silent. I said the bank is silent, next is RBI, right to RBI department. Bank cannot be silent. If the bank money is involved, then bank, similarly, Harris Bank, this amount is huge. And they are not doing this. What is to be done? Water cut is all nominal.
No, you have to go to civil court.
That's right. Okay. So it's a, but then who will bear? It is a me or the, I mean the bank is silent.
I don't know for whom you are representing. Okay? If you represent the society will go to civil court.
They are not gone. And who will bear for it? Okay. Other two just a small
Sir,
picture.
we'll move on to the next topic.
Somebody has given me this note. Who has given this? That you are asked to come to Moneylife Foundation in this book. At the end, we are having the office, okay, and phone number. Because it is not possible for me to reply to all these questions, but I am having solution to these questions. Okay. Thank you.
One question about Mr. Shamba. One of my sister, her complex has gone for redevelopment, and she is the only, it's like her parents are already gone. So committee is forcing her to give this certificate, like LOA or succession certificate. That is much for her.
First of all, that flat belongs to whom?
Land was belonging to her parents. So now this.
1 minute, her parents.
Yes. Now they are passed, both.
Both are passed. Okay. Now, how many children were there?
There were two sisters. One is already passed in 2004. Now she is the only one.
The one who passed was married.
Married.
Was she having husband and children?
No, only husband. No children.
Only husband. Okay. Now that and this sister is married or
No, she is single, not married.
Okay. Now this sister and their sister's husband, if they want that flat to be transferred in this unmarried sister's name, then both of them should do one release deed.
No, but the problem is that since my sister has passed in 2004, they are not having any relations.
Then go to the court. Go to the court.
Go to the
Civil court. Yeah.
Okay.
But otherwise, this is much trouble. No, civil court.
Sir, I have a very small question. Government of Maharashtra has modified the bylaws 2025-26. It is implemented or still pending?
I didn't understand, sir.
New bylaws has come 2025-2026 for cooperative housing society. I read in the newspaper. And I don't know if it is implemented or not implemented. Because there are some changes I made it there. It's not yet implemented. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
That's what I
just two questions. One is every society, especially governance issue, most of it, governance. In case of governance issue, if we go to register,
the administrator will come. Then what's it. The problem is not any other members are not ready to take the responsibility, and it is in battle line. So in that case, administrator is ready because he is reading that rules, is depending. But the governance issue, the main thing, let's not talk to the outcome. So what is to be done in case of governance issue? Every now and then the register is ready, but other members are not ready to take responsibility. The second issue, there is a huge corpus fund lying at it. I should time tell him as per the you can invest in the selected mutual fund. But there with vested interest of the committee members, it is invested in insurance, in FD. Society as it gets older, expenses will go on increasing. Every now and then the members should not be penalized. They should make the provision because there is a provision by which you can invest in mutual fund through the this side. In that case, what practice should be followed? Because the corpus is lying idle in the fixed deposit, and this is no good enough to take care of the society's aging expenses. What is your
Now corpus is lying vacant, I cannot say, it must be in some fixed deposit.
Yeah, fixed deposit.
If it is in fixed deposit, that is the only place where we have to keep. We cannot keep in mutual fund.
You can. There is a provision. I know.
You can.
You means?
You are pass majority in the general body meeting, and then you will get approval from the district deputy registrar, and those mutual fund that you are approving, in that only you will have to put. Okay?
Just one minute. Your first question, that is a common situation in all the societies, especially the societies which have very low number of members, small members.
Correct.
It happens. But right now, only solution is until you have an administrator appointed, let the people face the music of the administrator, and they will come back to their senses.
Correct.
That is the only solution.
मैं ऑक्शन प्लेट 2006 में मैं ऑक्शन प्लेट 2006 में लिया, जिसके ऊपर कोई भी डिमांड नहीं था। लेटर पे 2,36,000 का डिमांड निकाला, मैंने चेक से पेमेंट किया। उसके ऊपर एडिशनल लियो था सेल टैक्स का, उसका भी पेमेंट किया, उसका राइट नहीं था। सेकंड लियोन का जब तक फर्स्ट का परमिशन नहीं हुए, फर्स्ट मॉर्गेज का परमिशन नहीं होएगा, तब तक उसका सेकंड लियोन वैलिड नहीं होता है। ये पॉइंट है। दूसरा, 2000 से लेके 2020 तक एक भी एग्जिम नहीं हुआ था, तो हमको ये सब संघर्ष करते करते 17 में ऑडिट हुआ। 17 का ऑडिटर 2015 में साइन करता है अपॉइंटेड। उसके बाद हमने वो 11 इयर्स का ऑडिटेड बैलेंस रिवाइज कराया। उसमें 3 चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट था, ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूट में कंप्लेंट किया, 2 एस्केप हुआ ड्यू टू 7 इयर्स टाइम बार, एक है उसका मैंने रीजॉइनर फाइल किया है। ये सब उसके बाद DDR2 प्रताप पाटिल और डिप्यूटी रजिस्ट्रार वो फेक हियरिंग किया, जिसका कोई नोटिस नहीं, ये अपना ये नहीं, ऐसा करके 11 इयर्स का रिवाइज रिटर्न भी आज भी पेंडिंग है, उसका कोई एक्शन नहीं हुआ है।
इसमें आप एक ही एडवोकेट बता सकता हूँ, एडवोकेट के रमणी, बांद्रा वेस्ट, ओके, उनका नंबर हमारे से मिल सकते हैं। उसको लैंडलाइन नंबर है, और वो नंबर पर आप फोन करो, अपॉइंटमेंट ले लो, जाओ, और एक ही ऑथराइज्ड पर्सन है आपका। कॉम्प्लिकेटेड
यूजर कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, मैंने 22 साल का ऑडिटेड बैलेंस शीट है, वो सब मैंने वैलिड भी नहीं है। फिक्स डिपॉजिट है, वो ऑडिटेड अकाउंट बताए एक भी नहीं है।
खत्म हो गया, बता दिया आपको।
उसमें और एक चीज मैं बता सकता हूँ। सर, you want to say something about filing RTA with audited copies from the registrar and then ask for action taken?
RTI में भी जवाब दिया मैंने। 97 से 2024 तक एक भी रिकॉर्ड नहीं है हमारे पास। एक
हाँ, तो दूसरा RTA
मैं आपको आपका मोबाइल ये ले लेगा, व्हाट्सएप में आपको डॉक्यूमेंट्स ये करेगा।
नहीं, इसमें सेकंड पॉइंट ये है कि अगर आपको रिप्लाई नहीं मिला ना, तो यू कैन फाइल अनदर RTA एंड आस्क फॉर एक्शन टेकन रिपोर्ट ऑन योर कंप्लेंट।
हाँ, रिप्लाई भी बताएगा उसका।
Sir, there are 3 towers in a cooperative society. 2 of the towers have got OC. The third tower does not have OC. Now, what Afzal sir said, just like that, the lifts in the third tower which has no OC are failing, and the members of group A and B which have OC, they are being forced to pay the expenses on running and repair lift, and because there is no OC, there is a penal charge of the NCGM for water that is also being forced on A and B. So, इसका क्या solution हो सकता है?
ये थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड मैटर है। आप एडवोकेट के रमणी बांद्रा वेस्ट
बांद्रा वेस्ट।
We had we had a similar context, if I may. We separated the A and B building because they didn't have an OC. They had some illegal stuff. We separated it. We paid that cost, and that was cheaper than bearing that.
Yes, that is also one of the solutions.
We have done it.
Separating the society.
That means separate accounts, or does it mean
Separate registration.
Separate registration of the society.
But the property, the conveyance has been given to the property, then how will that property be shared between 3?
Land also can be.
Whether you use the lift or you don't use the lift, आपको तो bear करना ही पड़ेगा। आप समझे ना? Usually we always say कि don't go in for part OC, don't accept. ऐसी बहुत सारी केसेस मतलब हमारे सामने आए हैं।
2 टावर पहले बन गए थे, तीसरा बाद में बना, और उसमें मेंबर्स ने मॉडिफिकेशन की है, और जो ए एंड बी
उसका तो ओसी मिलेगा ही नहीं,
उसका ओसी मिलेगा ही नहीं। और जो चेयरमैन, सेक्रेटरी और ट्रेजरर है वो उस बिल्डिंग में है जिसमें ओसी नहीं है, because that is how it has happened. So are we allowed to maintain a separate books of accounts? जिसका लिफ्ट, जो बिल्डिंग में लिफ्ट लगाया है उसका खर्चा वो लिफ्ट ने करना चाहिए।
ऐसा नहीं है, देखिए अगर एक सोसाइटी है तो आपको इक्वली सबको देना पड़ेगा, unless आप लोग सोसाइटी को सेपरेट करें, then it's a different matter.
नहीं, but 67 A says that expenses are to be borne by the members in the for the lift in which the lift is being used. So C wing का जो लिफ्ट है वो imported लिफ्ट लगा हुआ है क्योंकि बाद में बना हुआ, और ट्रेजरर भी वहीं से है। So this is the issue. So we are trying to pray that आप अकाउंट सेपरेट रखो, उस लिफ्ट का खर्चा वो करो, इस लिफ्ट का खर्चा आप।
It's a big process. आपको जनरल बॉडी में वो सब पास करना पड़ेगा, सोसाइटी को बाइफिकेट करना पड़ेगा, अलग करना पड़ेगा, it's a process.
But since secretary, chairman, treasurer, वो सब सी विंग
can be done through the general body.
नहीं, जनरल बॉडी में पास ही नहीं हो पाएगा।
Because दो बिल्डिंग का आपका जो लोग हैं, they come together, they can pass it on.
General body is superior to the chairman also.
Yes.
A quick question. We had an annual general meeting and then we circulated the minutes. There were 25 or 30 members, out of which 4 members raised objections. 4 members raised certain issues. They are from the same cloud kitchen. They got together and said, let's stall the minutes. So what we did in the managing committee, we told them we will ask your whatever you objection or observation or comment, and we responded and we said we are not moving further than that. We don't have to keep responding to me every time. We said one time we.
See, actually what has happened is yahin pe ek mistake hota hai. Usually when we see a general body meeting, तो committee का एक group बन जाता है, members का एक group बन जाता है. What happens is either of the people they will try to provoke the other. So it is very important that you stick onto the merits of the case, but be polite, check your body language. You be firm on what you are asking. क्या होता है कि when they try to provoke you और आप मतलब आप पे झगड़ा हो जाता है, so जो मेन रोड है वो आप गलियों में भटक जाते हैं. तो
it is very important. Keep your cool, stick to your points, and demand an explanation from the management.
Yeah.
I just want to add one point. Many of the societies, because I am secretary now for 10 years, before that treasurer, two things which even I have seen, coming from certain background and knowing the importance of documentations also. Many times in AGMs and SGMs, now the rule says that it has to be audio and video recorded also. So I think this minutes of meeting, it came in our society also. But once you audio and video record such an important meeting like AGM and SGM, it has all the answers. People cannot raise frivolous questions on minutes of meeting. While at the same time, the managing committee also, which writes down the meeting, has to be very precise in what points they are writing. So anyone who contests, the audio video recording is available. Otherwise, as you said, in talking, talking is an endless process. In physics, they say it is sound waves, But what gets recorded in audio and video and on paper is only what matters, whatever you do, whether you go to court, high court, cooperative court, deputy register. And if you are truthful, it will always see the light of the day. This is what I just want.
Can we go to the next question, please?
No, 1 minute. They did not allow us to videograph or audiograph.
You don't need permission from anybody.
You don't require any permission. It is by model bylaws. Please read the books.
Yeah, my question relates to transfer fees on sale of flat. Okay, now, according to the law, only 25,000 is the maximum that can be charged by the corporation. Now, my question is, what is the legal basis for the society to charge me 25,000? It may be in the act, but what is the legal basis for that? For the transfer fees? Why should the society get these funds from either the seller or the buyer? Usually it's always the seller.
Sharma sir can answer. Transfer premium.
There is a August 2002 circular by which that transfer fee 25,000 is made clear.
No, but what is the legal basis? I'm saying because
Major business, it is government circular, sir. Government, Maharashtra, they have made.
anything can be amended. They can be amended. I don't know the legal basis for this because the ownership of this society lies with the flat owner. Now the argument provided by that act says it is because of all the benefits or all the things that the society has done. But who is the owner of those benefits? It's the flat owner. So why should on transfer that amount should go to the society? It will automatically transfer to the purchaser who has already paid his purchase price. That is why I want to question the legal basis for this transfer. It may be said, the government can send a circular and then they can amend it. Provided the people need to know what is the legal basis for it. You see, every single person, every single person.
Why do you drive to the left of the road? Why not to the right? Because there is a rule, you have to keep left and right. You have to follow the rule, that's it.
There is no ownership interest in the road of mine. This is my ownership interest that I am transferring. When you transfer your shares, does the company ask
Sir,
you to pay
let me tell you something. There are society
your
bylaws.
shares, does the company
Sir, please listen. There are society bylaws. Under the society bylaws, there are different clauses given under which the society can levy charges.
What is the legal basis for that?
If government,
in the bylaws, the government has come out with acts and then they have been
so you need to please take up the issue with the government. Please
Challenge the High Court.
I'm asking an expert, that's all, sir.
So the experts are telling you to go to the High Court and challenge the order.
That's what I'm saying, sir.
Yes, you can challenge. Yes, sir, please.
हेलो सर, हमारी सोसाइटी में रिसेंटली 2023 में इलेक्शन हुआ था, 8 मेल कैटेगरी, 2 फीमेल कैटेगरी. Out of that, recently both females are staying out of society. They have rented their flats. Last 2 years they have not attended any meetings. just came once in a year outside the books. They are legally called as a committee member.
I didn't understand your question, sir.
So what he is saying that they had in the managing committee there is a woman member, managing committee member, but she has rented her flat and she is residing outside, and she is not even attending the meetings, society meetings. So what they can do in this case?
Nothing. See, so long as she is paying the maintenance, well and good. Nothing.
No, what about her?
See, any managing committee member who does not attend 3 consecutive meetings, he is out. So you make an application to the deputy registrar and you get the necessary required order. Now what happens is a mark of brotherhood. As a mark of brotherhood, even if the member is not present, they take the signature from the back door. So this is the kind of things that keeps going on.
But the problem is in our society also we have the same.
उनका क्वेश्चन क्या है कि वो रेंटेड देख के वो लोग चले गए वहाँ से.
हाँ, they can still be a committee member.
कमेटी को कैसे ले सकते हैं? तो वहाँ रहते ही नहीं है सोसाइटी में.
That is okay, but the says कि मतलब है
They are not participating.
If they are not participating, they are in consecutive meetings, then they are deemed to have vacated the office.
Yeah, but they still want to be committee members, to be privy of information.
If you get a proof that the consecutive meeting has not been attended by a particular managing committee member, then automatically he is out.
Other constraint is
what sir is saying that you need to make the record, the managing committee attendance record, check whether the attended the 3 consecutive meetings. If not attended, then submit a letter to the deputy registrar that this member has not attended. You want to remove that member from the committee.
It is very clear.
He will guide you what to do next.
or if general body decides.
No, it's
Sir, hello sir. Was
It is simple. If they don't attend 3 meetings, they are deemed to have vacated the office.
Other constraint is we are a small society. One flat is in dispute that I mentioned on the paper. Now out of remaining 14, half of them are Canada, Pune, here, there and all that. There are hardly 2 or 3 people which are the barely 3 members office bearers needed. Now we have to keep a minimum of 5 as per the bylaw. So that's why we have to keep, there's no participation and they keep demanding and being the chairman, secretary and treasurer, they are overloaded with lot of stuff. And the previous committee did lot of...
Administrator is the solution, sir.
Hello sir, over here Yashoda. I have a question. For a private open terrace, what is the maintenance of society in charge, sir? For a private open terrace, it's outside the house.
For private open terrace, that society will not charge anything.
They are trying to charge, sir. Are there any precedents?
They are
I will
trying
come
to
Moneylife.
charge to whom?
To me, sir.
To me means
Owner.
you are on the terrace, are residing? Are you residing on the terrace open to sky?
Yes, open to sky, but there is just a little bit of weather shade. Chaja is there, sir. Chaja. I will come to
Now
Moneylife.
thing is that
I will come to
if
Moneylife.
whatever that flat, so-called flat you are residing, if it is its structure is passed by municipality, then only that structure, what you reside, is passed, maybe 500 square feet. Only on which that this one is there, an open site, open terrace, on which nothing can be charged. Okay? And if at all somebody charges, kindly make a complaint to deputy registrar. We will take the action against the society.
I will just add one point there. Just check your registered document. In that registered document, the total area would be mentioned. If it is an open terrace is always considered as a 50%.
Yes.
So if your open terrace space is, let's say 100 square feet, it will be considered as 50 square feet and it will be added in your flat. And the society will charge on that basis. So if If the society is charging on that basis, total square feet basis, then it's fine. There is no issue in that.
50% of the
50% of the terrace.
area.
You have to mention whether it is a
Open
private
area.
terrace or it's a common terrace.
It's open, sir. Open to sky, it's mine, sir.
No, in the agreement, how is it mentioned? Is that particular part of the terrace?
Private.
No, it's attached with your flat or it's
Yes, sir.
open terrace.
Attached to flat, open.
Okay, fine. So that's the same thing. That applies.
Access to the terrace within your flat.
Within the flat.
Yes.
So the 50% rule applies there.
Sir, I'll come later for some precedence or some.
Sure, you can take his appointment.
Yeah. And if the chairman of the society is not living in the society, can they be chairman of society?
No need to live. Office bearer, no need to live.
There must be resident.
Thank you, sir. I'm looking forward to the book.
Sure, you'll get a call. Sir, please.
Good evening, sir. I got one room at Dadar since 1942. At present, Rizvi is the landlord. Now, new developer is going to purchase our area in month of April. So, I want to know how much area we will get. Our minimum area is 180 square foot, and it is under safe and under MADA. How much area we are entitled?
You are entitled for 405 square feet, 405 square feet, 1 BHK carpet area, flat.
And how to know his financial capacity of landlord and how to know his experience, so he can complete the project.
You hire a good advocate, go to the cooperative court or civil court against the builder and the landowner.
See, before the start of the redevelopment process, you have the 79A circular which is there. The society has to go in for a feasibility report. Okay, in that you will see whether the plan which is already approved by the building proposal department, what is the area that is given to you, and based on that you can then decide what all you are going to get, because if you are going in for a cluster redevelopment, then there are different like 33/7, 33/9, 33/11. So it all depends on the area, the main road. All these factors need to be considered, and unless you have a feasibility report in front of you, you can't find it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Now, regarding this redevelopment of the special building, I would like to verify one small point here. Okay? Now, thing is that in Girgaon, you must have seen 4-story wooden building on ground floor, all shops. First to fourth floor, all this one room kitchen. That its area was 50 to 70 square feet. 50 to 70 square feet. Okay? Somewhere 10 years ago, when government made it a rule that in the redevelopment 35% additional area should be given, then they said that in Mumbai, in Girgaon area, we are having some accessory buildings having very less area. That means for 100 square feet, you give 35 additional, means you are getting 135. So then government again thought over it. Then what they did was, they thought that we will make your existing area, original area, as 300. Listen, as 300 means if it is 50, government will give 250, make it 300, original area. If it is 100, government will give 200, will make it 300. Okay? So that everything will be, every small flat owner will be getting minimum 300 carpet area. On 300 carpet area, you increase 35%. How much it is? 105 additional, 405 carpet area. So 405 carpet area, 1 PHK, you are going to get in the session building. It is clear to you? So everyone should get minimum 405. If it is 300 or less than 300, your original area. You don't ask me where I will get you that circular search in Maharashtra government site.
Yes, sir, please.
Our building is 50 years old and we are undergoing a redevelopment process. We have a nursing home. They have made this as a commercial. And now other people is also doctor. She also need a commercial this thing. Is it possible for them? Because otherwise she will not give a consent with the government. How is it?
You see, to run a nursing home, you need to have there are certain criteria. Like you have to have a separate entrance and all that. So whether that lady has applied to the
He has applied and he has got the commercial. Now on that basis, other doctor is also asking for commercial.
what about the BMC charges? Is it coming as commercial?
No, it is a residential property. Totally. And initially they are taken as a nursing home.
This is a defect over here.
Because commercial order is given by BMC and NOC is also given by society for that nursing home. But now other doctor has also come, she will also need a commercial. Is it possible?
But whether she is applied?
Hello, sir?
Whether she is applied to the BMC?
No, they are asking for some managing committee. They are demanding for the managing committee.
No, that's not possible. Not possible.
Hello, sir. Sir, my question is regarding recovery. We got a recovery certificate from the deputy registrar and the Thane Housing Federation. They were trying to submit it to the collector office for recovery, but collector was not accepting. Then we had our MLA intervene, and then the collector office accepted it. Now, after accepting it for 1 year, there is no action from their end. They say this is nothing, we will not do anything. The recovery officer themselves have power. Recovery officer says we don't have the power unless the collector authorizes. So we are stuck since last 1 year.
Have you heard of Lok Shahidin complaint? Have you heard of Lok Shahidin complaint? Yes or no answer?
No, sir.
No. So what you do is, you make a Lok Shahidin complaint to the Thane collector against him only, so that he will ask that recovery officer to do the needful. Lok Shahidin complaint.
Lok Shahidin complaint every first Monday of the month. All the collectors hold the Lok Shahidin in their offices. So you need to submit the complaint in three copies, and then you'll be heard there, and you will give the decision. Every officer of the district is present there in the meeting. The collector hears you and he passes the order.
First day of every month.
Every month.
First Monday of every month.
My name is Krishnan.
First Monday.
Okay. My name is Krishnan. I have a slightly different question. It is on Succession Act. Okay. Now recently the government has come out repealing the Succession Act by removing the probate, requirement of probate for a will. Now when there is a probate, the authenticity is established through court procedures about the genuinity of the will. Now that it has been removed in the 3 cities, how does one establish that? Number one. Number two, if the probate of the will is removed under section 213, does it also apply to succession certificate, that is LOA, letter of authority? Thanks.
If the will is challenged, then you have to obtain succession certificate. It is for Mumbai, Calcutta,
Madras.
High Court areas, not for Thana. Also, Thana is not coming in Mumbai. Okay, so for these areas, that flat, if somebody flat owner makes a will and he registered with the sub-register of insurances. The registered fee of will is only 100 rupees. Okay? And that will is not challenged by his successors, means his wife, children, and all have not challenged. Then, without this
Probate.
Probate,
can be cancelled.
society can take a
Permanent membership. Transfer.
Society can do, ask that person to make a release deed and transfer it in his name.
Why
For
a
500 rupees stamp paper.
Why a release deed is required? If there is a bill, in the bill it states that there are three brothers, one of them they have been given equally.
No, release deed is needed. Release deed is needed.
Release deed is only for releasing his entitlement.
No, that you ask, that you use your own court.
Sir, what the government,
It is very simple. You are having a will, maybe registered, maybe not registered. Since the probate has been removed, then and if there is no dispute between the legal heirs, then immediately the society should transfer it accordingly.
Even if the notarized will also they would,
Yeah.
they're not saying.
only thing that government has clarified is
That is
it's not mandatory now.
It's not mandatory.
If you want it, you can take the probate. There is no restriction on that. So that is what the government order says. If you want probate, you can go for it. Especially for these 3 cities.
Yes.
Everywhere else there is no probate.
It is totally
There is only the succession
Dhala is
certificate.
not coming under that.
No.
But does it apply to LOA also? Your LOA succession certificate is another part. It is for those who don't have a will. There is one part, somebody has a will, somebody doesn't have a will.
Just send us a mail, we'll get it checked.
Hello, I want to ask, MADA rules apply to buildings in suburbs also or only up to Mahim?
What is that?
MADA rules, do they apply to buildings in suburbs also or only up to Mahim?
MADA rule anywhere in Maharashtra state
They apply in
on
suburbs also?
MADA's land.
Okay.
Society standing on MADA's land
Yes.
is applicable.
Okay, one more question. Can we restrict members from a family attending the society meeting? I mean, sometimes 3, 4 of them all come together.
No, that is
In
not
society meeting, can we restrict people from attending in numbers from one family?
Yes. I will answer that. Society's meeting is only for the members,
Yeah.
not family members.
Yeah.
Member means the registered member whose name is there on the share certificate.
Okay.
He only can attend the meeting. If he is not available, then the associate member whose name is second, he can get an authority letter from the first member, and then he can be allowed to attend. But family members are strictly not allowed.
See, when
You can both primary and joint holder both
No,
come.
both can't. Only one person.
See, when they circulate the notice, they mention that proxy are not allowed.
Yes.
That's true. On every notices, they mention all this.
Okay, and one more thing. Do these rules of societies also apply to buildings at a pagri?
Rental.
Pag buildings? Pagri or pagri, whatever you call it.
No, I didn't understand.
Do these rules of housing societies, can they be applied to buildings where there is a pagri building?
No, housing society rules are not applicable to public building.
Okay,
Public
right.
buildings have their own rules.
Thank you.
We have 2 flats in our society. One was with my father. After redevelopment, I purchased another flat next door. Because of my father is old and he used to come and eat in my area, kitchen, we had created a door in between the 2 flats. Now, historical, since 12 years, so society was not formed for whatever reason the previous managing committee had not done. Two share certificates were issued, 2 maintenance are being paid, 2 agreements, one with my father, one with me, are already in there. The only thing it is, in the municipal plan, since it is actually a door in between, now the committee in 2022 which was created as a new society because of that AB and stuff. Now they are saying this is one flat, and now that my father has deceased, I have done a release deed for my sister in her name, will is in her name, everything is no dispute. They are not transferring in her name, and they are saying in the municipal plan there is a door and it is one flat. Now how do we get the transfer done? Does the MCS Act go? I read that it does not refer to any municipal related stuff. The only constraint is maintenance of things.
With that, there are two flats because it clearly shows there are two agreements.
Correct.
And two members and two share certificates.
Yeah.
So that although you have unofficially put a door between the two flats, so those two flats do not become at one flat unless you yourself bring one municipal architect and make them in municipal plan two flats at one flat. In that case, one of the kitchen should be removed. Followed. So the one flat can have maximum one kitchen. So one.
No, there are two kitchen.
No, listen. And if at all you are having simply unofficial door, then other father's flat, whatever transfer you wanted to do it.
I have done the release deed. There is no intent to have it one. In fact, we have put now the door, we have closed it with the walls and we are two separate. Only municipal plan is showing the old plan, which is the door.
I have one question. I have a shop. We have one door and we have a back door on it. And now society will go on a redevelopment. And when we ask for he has been signed, now we are going to the Redevelopment. And when we ask for the approval, they say that we
Sir, can you please listen to the question, please?
So, मेरे मम्मी के नाम पे शॉप है, कमर्शियल शॉप है, ओल्ड बिल्डिंग है, अभी रिनो जा रहा है, डीए फाइनल हो चुका है, E-triple फाइलिंग बाकी है। मेरे शॉप के पीछे बैकडोर में ऑफिशियली एज पर BMC बैकडोर है, बट जब मैं डेवलपर से पूछ रहा हूँ, then they saying you can't have a backdoor because we can't get the FSI. So we will get a backdoor in the new commercial shop which will get allocated or it won't.
No, that you have to decide because if your flat is, if your shop is on ground floor, then certainly you can have back door. Okay?
Yeah.
But if it is on some other floor, that it is not possible.
The allocation is on the ground floor. The whatever system I get,
Yeah, you
that
can
is also
also
back door. But they are saying if I want to give you the back door, then you need to purchase the additional FSI because I need to give the walkway. Then you need to purchase the commercial.
You have to consult by consulting some structural engineer or architect.
OCA amnesty scheme, but the start date and it is not clear.
What is that?
OCA amnesty scheme.
OCA amnesty.
Occupancy certificate.
That it has left that OCA amnesty scheme half because there were several problems involved in that OC. Okay? So that OCA amnesty scheme is has not passed in the assembly because that problems were there. Okay, because that for OC, for the Mahara building different, for private building different and all of such things.
Another thing, a flat owner where the husband is the first holder and the wife is the second holder. Can they both be office bearers?
What is that? No.
Only one.
Only one.
The first holder can be office bearer.
Yes.
Even if they have two separate flat, one flat one, then they can be. We have that case.
I think we have one last
No one else
question
is
here.
willing to be. there was a new resolution, there was some announcement that 700 square feet flat won't have a property tax. So that GR has been passed for property tax.
Property
It was
tax,
700 square
BMC
feet.
you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Earlier it was 500 square feet, now it has been to 700. So does the GR has been passed?
So that for 700, that GR has not yet come. So the moment your GR comes, BMC is the first municipal corporation which will do that. Because when 500 GR came, for it is not just for BMC, it was for all the corporations, municipal corporation in some state. BMC was the first to do that. If you are in BMC area, don't worry.
So on that,
It will come.
on that, so mine is 450 something. It is less than 500. But the society is charging other property tax of general compound and all. Is that applicable still?
That they can.
So that
Common area taxes you're talking about.
Yeah.
Common area is fully
But 500 is exempt, no?
Common area
It is
tax.
for the personal benefit.
Yeah, yeah.
Personal benefit. Your own
Yeah,
personal
yeah,
benefit.
yeah.
So we are just taking one last question from sir.
I have one question on redevelopment. How important is deemed conveyance? Where conveyance of course is not there. How important is deemed conveyance before society starts approaching a developer or builder for redevelopment?
That is the first step.
So that is the most important, right? Deemed
Without
conveyance
that, we
before.
cannot go further.
Yeah. For safety of all the residents.
Should be in the society.
You
In
have to-
societies.
you have to-
And if it is a private lease land, what are the complications?
See, that lease line, if it is a lease line, then you go for the lease deed with that lease landowner. Huh? For building, it will be a conveyance deed. Whole conveyance will be done in favor of society by the builder. But for that land, that lease deed, it is minimum for 30 years.
Thank you very much. Just wait for Teresa to complete the.
We would like to introduce you to Mr. A.V. Shinoy, Counselor for Moneylife Foundation, Issues of Consumer Matters and RERA. He has also been a vital contributor to the handbook. We would like to honor his presence today at the launch. May I request my colleague, Highcliffe Diablo, to present a memento to Mr. A.V. Shinoy. Thank you, everyone. On behalf of Moneylife Foundation, I would like to express our sincere thanks to all our speakers today, Mr. Shirish Shanba and Mr. Mohammad Afzal. Thank you for sharing your time, experience, and insights with us. Your perspectives add immense value to the issue we have discussed today. I would like to also thank my colleague, Akshay Naik, for taking us through the presentation. Let me also thank our trustees for their continued guidance and support. We are grateful to SoftCell Global Technologies Private Limited and Moneylife Advisory Services Private Limited for supporting this project under CSR and helping bring this handbook to fruition. And of course, a big thank you to all of you, our audience, for being here, for your engagement and for your interest in this subject. Before we conclude, a quick note on the books. For those who would like to collect or purchase a copy, we are following a simple process. We request you to please queue up in an orderly manner so that we can maintain a proper record and issue receipts wherever required. Thank you once again for joining us today. We hope this handbook proves to be useful and practical resource for all of you. On this note, I take your leave. This is Teresa Rodriguez for Moneylife Foundation.